D, wait for it, light bulb.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my week in review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this story, and you can either read it yourself or you can just listen to this video where I'm pretty much going to read it all to you. Also, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, now that we got all that business out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started on these 3 stories. So for my first story we have this week, and this is a good one. It started off as a rumor, and then there was kind of confirmation, but I'm just not sure if this is going to come to fruition or anything like that. But it looks like Pedro Pascal is going to be playing Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, for the Fantastic Four movie. Now, we already got Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman, and so this would be the second casting for that movie. But what I'm hearing, and we'll read through this article, it looks like he hasn't signed on yet, but he is, they're just basically waiting. They're having scheduling problems with The Last of Us Season 2, so they're trying to figure all that stuff out. All right, and I'll give you my thoughts on Pedro Pascal playing Mr. Reed Richards at the end of this, but let's go ahead, and throughout, but let's go ahead and start this article. So this says, after months of speculation over who might play Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, in Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four, the wait may be finally over. While a deal is far from done, sources tell Deadline that 3-time Emmy nominee Pedro Pascal is in talks to play the leader of the iconic superhero team. Insiders add that scheduling is still being worked out, but multiple sources close to the negotiations are saying it's headed in the right direction for Pascal to do this and his other future projects. Pascal has a full dance card that includes Gladiator 2, which is expected to go into production before the end of the year, as well as his popular HBO series, The Last of Us, which is expected to shoot next year, as well as Zach Craig's Weapons. So look, he's got a full dance card pretty much. And that sounds now, I'm going to read this last paragraph, and then I'll tell you all my thoughts on this on Pedro Pascal playing Mr. Fantastic. As for other members of the team, that can now be worked out, as it was essentially figure out who would be playing Reed Richards before they could go out with offers to others. The hope would be to shoot early next year, so expect this cast to fill out quickly. With director Matt Shankman currently in pre-production at Pinewood Studios in England. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige will produce. Pascal has been quite the run in recent years, including his Emmy-nominated role in the hit HBO series The Last of Us. He was also nominated for hosting Saturday Night Live, which that I find ridiculous, but whatever, which was one of the more popular episodes of last season. I mean, I'm sorry, when it comes to, I just want to real quick comment on this. When it comes to SNL, I mean, if you have even a mediocre hit episode, it's one of the more popular ones, because we have to be honest, SNL hasn't been good for quite some time, in my opinion. I mean, they'll have one sketch or two that's pretty funny, but overall, it's just been pretty like wah, wah, wah. So it says, which was one of the more popular episodes. He also has Zach Craig's Krager's next film, Weapons, which, I mean, who cares? So here are my thoughts on this. I think Pedro Pascal is a very talented actor. And whenever he's on screen, I find him to be very good, and I enjoy him. But I'm not fooled by his persona of trying to be a good, nice guy. I think he's a douche, and I'm sorry. It's very obvious because there was those scoopers that said he was a problem on The Mandalorian season 2, and they had to veer away. And it's very obvious. You can see that's what they did in season 3, and he's only coming back for season 4 voice only. And some scoopers had said that he was only going to do voiceover work, that he wasn't going to do any visual, any of the stuff in the costume. So He threw a fit there, and I just go, listen, dude, be grateful for what you got. It took you forever to get here, and now you're gonna play diva. I don't think so. But he just comes across to me, and I'm sorry, I don't see the nice guy routine. I see way past that nonsense. Also, Reed Richards is a white guy. Now, I honestly don't mind, race bending, but you just keep doing it. And, I'm just like, okay. And I mean, Reed Richards is a douche in the comic books. I mean, I don't know if you read comic books, but Reed Richards is not he's not the nice guy scientist. He's a dick. He's very much like about the science. And that's why Sue Storm, she keeps like running into the arms of Namor, or Namor. But she keeps running the arms of Namor because Reed can be a pretty big, like, very like what's the word I'm looking for? He's just very like stone faced and just very like, very direct, but not in a good way. Like, how you get those scientists that are like, I'm the nice guy with the glasses, and I'm gonna win the day with the lady because she'll see that I'm not a bad boy. I'm a nice guy. Reed Richards is not that guy. He's not sweet and nice. Like, he has his moments, but those are far and few between. He is very much about the science, and he just tells it to you straight. And if you don't like it, he's like tough, and he's kind of harsh sometimes. But as far as Pedro Pascal goes, getting this, I mean, he should be grateful. I mean, I personally, if it was me, I'd be weary just because he threw his little fit on Star Wars, on The Mandalorian. And I'd be like, listen, are we dealing with a diva here? Because if we're dealing with a diva, I'm not interested in this nonsense. Plus, I have to be honest, I thought Matt Smith would be a great choice for Reed Richards. And if this doesn't go through, if they can't get the scheduling under wraps, then I hope they go back to Matt Smith, because I think Matt Smith is fantastic, in my opinion, also. But we'll see how this turns out. But so far, and we have to ask ourselves, is Pedro Pascal being oversaturating the market with himself? We got that with The Rock, to the point now where I'm just like, I don't want to see any more of The Rock for a while. Like, I've had enough. We've seen him in so much crap that I'm just like, do we really want more of him? And the same thing with Pedro Pascal. I don't dislike Pedro Pascal, but we're seeing him in so much shit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, maybe we need to veer away from him for just a little bit. I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. Like I said, if it works out, I don't have faith in Marvel anymore. So, whatever, maybe this will be good. I just don't have faith in it, but we'll see how this turns out, and see if he does a good job, if he gets the role. Okay, you guys, so that is my first story of the week. So for my second story of the week, and this one comes from Deadline, my favorite also. So Destin Daniel Cretton has left the Avengers the Kang Dynasty. But it says remains aboard Wonder Man, Shang-Chi 2, and more in the MCU. Here's my thing, though. Is Wonder Man still getting made? Is Shang-Chi still getting made? Because I'm sorry, like, they haven't used Shang-Chi in anything since then, and I personally didn't care for that movie either. I mean, it was okay. That third act sucked balls, though. I was just like, this third act is nonsense to me, but whatever, it's fine. But let's read this, and then we'll talk about it a little bit as we go along. It says, Deadline hears that filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton has 3 names, guys. We got to stop this nonsense. Has decided to step away as director of Marvel Studios' Avengers Kang Dynasty to focus on his other Marvel projects. This is an applicable exit, I understand, as Cretton remains fully in the Marvel Studios family. Yeah, I had read that in a couple other articles too, that he left on good terms. He was just like, listen, you guys, this is just taking too long. I would like to do other things. I still want to come back for these other projects. I'm not, I have no ill will towards you. I just would like to do other things. And says, in fact, Cretton is in talks with Marvel Studios about directing future movies, which, I mean, listen, like I said before, he did a good job directing Shang-Chi, but Shang-Chi was just, like I said before, I didn't really care for that third act. Really, I was like, what's going on here? This is nonsense. There's demons now. Yeah. So it says, note, Avengers Kang Dynasty is far on the theatrical release schedule, dated to kick off summer on May 1st, 2026. The movie will precede Avengers Secret Wars on May 7th, 2027, which will wrap up the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Phase 6 features, which Can't come fast enough, in my opinion. Okay, so it says Cretton is currently busy on Marvel Studios' Disney Plus series Wonder Man, which he co-created with Andrew Guest, who serves as showrunner. Cretton EPs the series and also directed the first 2 episodes. Okay, so this obviously is still going forward. I'm not interested in Wonder Man. Wonder Man in the comic books never interested me ever, and I don't think this show is going to be very good either, but we'll see. I haven't liked any of the Marvel shows. So anyways, the series resumes shooting after Thanksgiving. Wonder Man will be under the new Marvel Spotlight series banner, which are shows that are standalone series and not part of the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe, which we've heard that before, but whatever. The filmmaker is also currently working on the sequel to the 432 million plus global grossing hit. Yeah, 400, not even 500 million is not a hit, homie. Okay. Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. That movie is the highest grossing AAPI superhero movie ever. What does that even mean? And also owns the record opening over the 4-day Labor Day holiday weekend with 94.6 million stateside. Who cares? Who cares? That movie was jank as shit. Anyways, in 2021, following the success of Shang-Chi, Cretton signed an overall deal with Marvel Studios and Hulu's Onyx Collective. Cretton is an EP on the hit Disney Plus series American Born Chinese, which he also directed 2 episodes of. I've heard some good things about that show. I'm not going to read the rest of this, you guys. I'm just going to talk about this. So I understand and completely am on Destin's side with leaving the movie. You know, and plus Kang, if I don't even, who knows if they're even going forward with Kang anymore, because they've totally given themselves an out in terms of that movie, because, you know, the way Loki season 2 ended, you know, they did not give us any insight into the fact that Kang is going forward. You know, they could totally end it there and all is well. Like, what's his face? He Who Remains is dead still. Victor Timely didn't get the TVA notebook, the handbook, so he doesn't need to, so he's not involved as far as Kangs go. So we have this completely open door to leave Kang out of the series, the franchise going forward, the Marvel franchise going forward. So I'm on his side in terms of stepping away, because he's all, you know, he's probably just like, listen, I want to work right now, and I'm not working, and this movie's not coming out for a million years. So I'm going to go do some other stuff. So we're on his side there. So that is my second story of the week. So for my third and final story this week, you guys. All right, so Frozen 4 is happening, and Frozen 3 hasn't even happened yet. But Bob Iger, he announced on Good Morning America, which everybody thought maybe it was just, he said Frozen 4 is coming. And everybody thought maybe he just meant Frozen 3, but no, it looks like they're going to do a Frozen 3 and a Frozen 4. I think they said in here it's going to be a 2-parter. If not, I have thoughts on that. But let's go ahead and read through this article from Deadline, again, my favorite. And it says Frozen 4 in the works. Disney CEO Bob Iger confirms on Good Morning America. That's where it was, right? There's Elsa. Look at that. Disney CEO Bob Iger confirmed that Frozen 4 is in the works, with the new installment joining the previous confirmed Frozen 3. Iger made the announcement today on Good Morning America they didn't, and there's a little typo right there. You see that right there, that little typo right there from, anyways, okay. Hong Kong Disneyland. Frozen 3 is in the works, Iger said in an interview, and there might be a Frozen 4 in the works too. But I don't have much to say about those films right now, but Jen Lee, who created Frozen, the original Frozen and Frozen 2, is hard at work with her team on Disney Animation on not 1, but actually 2 stories. It says, immediately following the opening ceremony for Disneyland's new World of Frozen in Hong Kong, Iger said, for years at our Disney parks, we've been creating these large immersive worlds. Essentially, they are the physical embodiment of some of the greatest stories that we've told. And of course, Frozen being one of our most valuable franchises, as you mentioned, a very successful film, I think it's just right for building the place that Frozen takes place in. It's just a fantastic land that enables people to get immersed in the story of Frozen Frozen and interact with all the great characters from the films, which I agree with that. I don't really go to, I'm not going to read that part, but I do think that the parks are really great. I've never been there before because I'm poor and it's expensive, but I think that the parks, the immersive portion of it are just great. So I do agree with that. Disney is pulling out the stops for the hit animated franchise, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary, including its own audio series, Frozen Forces of Nature, set after Frozen 2 and before Frozen 3, and introducing new characters, including Queen Disa and Lord Wolfgang, alongside Elsa and Anna, which Iger's interview below, or watch Iger, sorry. So that is the end of that article, you guys. So here are my thoughts on that portion, this portion of the program. First off, let's just say this is a two-part story, which I don't know if that's going to be a good idea or not. I'm just throwing this out there. And they do Frozen 3 and then they end it and they're like, come back for Frozen 4. That might be a good thing for them, just because if you watch Frozen 3, you definitely have to come back for Frozen 4. But I have to say this, I do not like the Frozen movies. I don't think they're good. I mean, the songs are catchy, but other than they're very of the moment and for those movies. That's my problem with those movies, with Disney movies now, is like the songs in there are not evergreen. Like if you listen to other songs from other movies, you know, like Snow White, Whistle While You Work, that song works everywhere. It doesn't work just for Snow White. But Frozen, when she's like, let it go, she's talking about icicles and shit. That's only for Frozen or anything ice related. So you can do that, in winter time. So that's just my thoughts on that. I mean, this will probably be a success just because what little girl doesn't love Frozen? I mean, and what gay doesn't love Frozen also? But I mean, I think that this will be a hit for them, obviously, except for Jennifer Lee. I don't know, man, that chick, I don't know, she's very more missed than hit these days. And I think that, and they're just running out of ideas. Like, come up with another Disney princess idea besides just going back to Frozen. I mean, you guys are just milking that cow, the Frozen cow. And I say, get back to original ideas, because you will have a good one in there. Just keep throwing darts at the board, see which one sticks. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll probably see this movie just because I'll probably cover it, and my kids will want to see it because it's well, my daughter will definitely want to see it. She likes Elsa over Anna, but she does like Frozen and stuff. But that was my final story of the week, you guys. Tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? How do you feel about Pedro Pascal playing Reed Richards? Are you like me and you just think it's a bad idea and they should try to get somebody else? Or do you think this is a fantastic idea? You love Pedro Pascal and you're like, just come party with me, Pedro, and everything. I get that. You know, like I said before, I think he's a good actor. He's so good. You know, the emotional range he has is just great. I just don't think he's good for Reed Richards. Plus, I honestly think that personality-wise, I mean, off-screen, it just seems he just comes off to me very douchey, and I personally, I have no time for that nonsense. I'd be like, no, thank you. You're just too much drama for me. Also, tell me, how do you feel about Destin Daniel Cretton leaving the Avengers Kang Dynasty? Do you think are you on his side, or do you think this was a bad idea on his part? I mean, like I said before, I'm on his side when it comes to this. If he doesn't feel like it's going forward in a timely manner, he should just bail, and get back to doing things that he wants to do / likes. Or do you think this was a misstep on his part? Because it's like, dude, you know, don't you want to make money? Don't you want to make those sweet dollar bills, yo? I personally would just keep riding that money train to the bank, but that's me. I can't speak for Destin here. And then finally, tell me, how do you guys feel about Frozen 4 coming to theaters eventually? I mean, they haven't even done Frozen 3. I think that those movies also lack from having a bad guy. There's no bad guy in those movies. I personally just want a evil force coming at them. And I haven't read the audio series or listened to the audio series with these new people, but maybe they are, that evil force. But like I said before, I don't care for the Frozen movies, but at the same time, I'm going to have to watch them, but yeah. But tell me what you guys think about that. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're on the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my Week in Review. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my Week in Review.